Alright, I want to let you guys know that I threw up this morning for the first time in a year. I used to be able to have these streaks of like 8 years where I was like invulnerable to vomit, but now it's like sometimes the sun gets to me. At some point here, I might actually have to stop running and grab a drink because I'm really not with it right now. This is really brutally hard stuff, but I want to review one of my favorite action movies, Con Air from 1997. I saw this movie in theaters opening week, nearly 20 years ago to today. And it stars Nicolas Cage, John Malkovich, Ving Rhames, John Cusack, a whole lot of people who, for the most part, are on straight-to-video shit right now, video on demand. So when you see these faces on the cover, you might be thinking, if you're young, so what? But this was a big deal. This was an action movie that had the right spirit. It had this kind of Schwarzeneggerian vibe where it was light in ways. The action was taken seriously, so it wasn't a spoof. The stakes were raised, but the characters had some fun along the way. So, we start off, we get this talk about how Rangers operate. They never leave a man behind. Evidently, Nicolas Cage is a Ranger. Comes home, maybe he's in Georgia, I don't know. His wife's a bartender, I suppose, a waitress. He's seeing her at the bar. Oh, yeah, good to see you, honey. Yeah, okay, so you're pregnant. This is great stuff. Cool, I guess. And then this guy talks about, I would take a beating half of my life to hook up with that bird. And so he ends up doing that. He pisses off Nicolas Cage, attacks him in the rain, in the bar after hours. Nicolas Cage whoops some ass. Guy pulls a knife out. He goes, boom. I guess pushes his nose into his brain, kills the guy. And dumbass lawyer talks him into pleading guilty. I guess the guy took the knife, so maybe they couldn't prove he had a knife on him. Asshole judge says that he's a dangerous weapon, that because of his skills as a ranger, So he gets sentenced to like, I don't know, 10 years or some shit. I think he serves like 7 or 8. And he's going through the motions in prison. There's riots he doesn't give a shit about. He makes a friend, this guy Baby-O, who they share snacks with. And I guess he's a cellmate. And you don't get any sense that the guards mistreated anybody here. This ain't Shawshank. Kind of odd. I'm scratching my leg because there's bugs. So anyways, we have his daughter grows up, gets to be like 6, 7, 8, whatever, is writing her dad. He's got his release date, same day as his daughter's birthday. And so she's writing about how she's going to meet her dad for the first time ever on her birthday and all this. And so he's going to get away. Baby-O's also going too. They're both going to go on a plane to a new Supermax. So the plane they're on, they're calling it Con Air, okay? It's convict transportation by plane. How often do they have to make a run at this plane? Like, I don't really understand. It seems like the marshals operate this. John Cusack goes to this meeting as this guy's explaining stuff, kind of mouths it to him, and then this chick kind of smirks. You know that, was it Mykelti? Not impressed look. She did it first. Anyways, I want to get back to her characters. I'd seen this movie tons of times. We used to watch this on VHS on a car trip to Las Vegas back in '99. We had this on VHS, and I didn't really think about it, but it's Vegas related, right? We get there. So, the plane's getting loaded up with the worst of the worst. We got John Malkovich plays Cyrus the Virus. Everybody has some interesting line or quip that gives them a character. And you can really understand quickly where all these guys come from, especially with John Malkovich kind of reading their dossier. And he's got this co-worker, Colm Meaney, and I think that's his name. He was on Next Generation. Man, he cusses a lot in this movie. F this and that every which direction. He's got this Corvette 427 convertible. And like how the beautiful Sunset's babies are beautiful. This is, you know, effing awesome or whatever. So he goes on about this, and Colm's with DEA. He's got a guy aboard. There's a guy who has some sensitive information about drug cartels, and they might try to get it out of him or something like this. I don't know. But he brings a gun on the plane. They're not supposed to do that. This guy 8-Ball, played by Dave Chappelle, pulls some explosives out of his mouth, lights up this Indian dude next to him. Last Mohican's on fire. I seen it. I'm actually going to try to do a Dave Chappelle impression next time I do stand-up. And I'm a long ways from it because I've only been working on it since today. But anyways, there's a distraction. They get Ving Rhames, this diamond dog, this black militant guy. They get him and John Malkovich freed. They take over the plane, release the prisoners, turn the tide against, oh man, my hair's gonna look like shit, but whatever. I'm too hot. Turn the tide against the guards, and I'm trying to give you guys a decent, something presentable here to look at, but you know, it's probably funnier if my hair's a mess. Rachel Ticotin, might be saying that wrong, you know, from Total Recall. She's one of the guards, and she's somewhat sympathetic. She's going to get raped by Johnny 23, played by Danny Trejo. This is my introduction to Danny Trejo, so I always think of him as Johnny 23. I think he says something like, they call me Johnny 600 if they knew the truth. But John Malkovich reveals that he doesn't really enjoy rapists. And he has a memorable line like every other line. It's like, you're somewhere between a cockroach and the white stuff accumulates on the edge of your mouth, or the corner of your mouth when you're really thirsty. Which I am. So, this is going down. They have a stop they have to make, pick up this guy. Did they say he was Ecuadorian or something like this? But he's the guy with the ties that the DEA wants. They pick him up in transfer. They're posing as guards. They also pick up a few more faces. Garland Green. I mean, this guy makes an entrance. Steve Buscemi, I don't give a shit. I mean, this is spoofed in The New Guy by DJ Qualls, where he's like so dangerous. He's locked in this padded cell mobile room that has a chair that comes out. I mean, the way they present this guy makes Hannibal Lecter look like a pacifist. So this guy's like a mass murderer, really sadistic dude. And when he gets on the board plane, he's like the most chill guy. He doesn't give a shit, bullets are flying, whatever, he doesn't participate, he just goes and does his own shit. And no one gives him any crap. They act like he's a celebrity. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. So, Nicolas Cage can get away, but his buddy, Daddy-O, is diabetic. And they had a scruff, broke all the needles. He has insulin, but he has no needles. He's gonna die soon. So they gotta find a way to get needles, so they can't get him off the plane. Cause they can't get him off the plane because he's black, and the people that are being transferred to this stop are white. So they're sticking around. Also, he doesn't want the woman to get raped by Johnny 23. So Barry Larkin, that would be John Cusack, is alerted of this because during at one point this little escape, Dave Chappelle has to get the transponder tracking device, the LoJack, the GPS, if you will, from the airplane. He has to move it to another plane so that they don't track the actual Con Air flight. And he has this funny line where he comes across this black gal while he's offloading the transponder, switching things out. And he's like, oh, hey, I'm with the Department of Erect Corrections. You know, because he hadn't been around a lady in a while. Hey, you got the funniest eyes I've seen in 9 to 10, something like that. You know, decent lines here and there. They keep the script light, but it's not a spoof. And you don't get that anymore. Nowadays, it's, oh, well, we can only do an action movie if it makes fun of action movies. Or a comic book character. If there's a comic book character, we can have action. Otherwise, it has to be making fun of action. God damn it. So, this was actually the first film by Simon West. Did I say that right? Is Simon West? He actually did Expendables 2, but Expendables 2 falls down that we're making fun of action movies category. So, and it looks like shit compared to this. Because in this movie, every effect looks amazing. Like, there are parts where I'm like, oh, there's a guy who catches fire when they find out the plans to move. It's for the prisoners to escape aboard the plane. Surely it's gonna look like shit. No, it don't. There's a part of a flying car. Last couple seconds doesn't look that good. The rest of the flying car shit looks great. We'll get to that later. But explosions in this are real explosions. People running away from it. And it gives you a sense of, hey, I don't give a shit if it's a stunt double or not. Somebody's there. Something is happening. Now they just make movies in a green room. And it pisses me off. So, we have an incident where the guards are privy to the knowledge of this. The DEA guy that they shot aboard the plane when he pulled a gun out on him, they put his tape recorder, or Cameron Poe, that's Nicolas Cage, if I had said so already. It's about 100 degrees out here and I'm going to pass out. Probably on camera. For your enjoyment, I hope you're funding me on Patreon because I'm in a dire situation I'm going to be getting to soon. So anyways, the switch off doesn't go all that smooth. Guns come out, Cyrus shoots guys. They get aboard the plane and they're moving. And now, Colm, I'm just gonna call him Colm at this part. He's like, okay, that's it. We're taking this guys, we're gonna blow this thing up. No, you don't do that. There could be good guys aboard this plane. People on our side. Well, that's this guy Cameron Poe. He didn't escape. Why? Talks to his wife. You're thinking maybe he was afraid to get out? No, not Cameron. He wanted more than anything meet his daughter. Well, Dave Chappelle got killed in the ruckus here. He was late getting on the plane and somehow, even in theaters, this didn't make sense. He's just like catching up. He sees the Indian he burned. Hey, Cochise. We find out that he is stuck in the, he got hit, I guess, ran over by a tire and got kicked up into the landing gear. Though still looks like Dave Chappelle. And I think after these injuries wouldn't. And he's grinning. Well, eventually, Cameron Poe has to go, and I'm actually saying Cameron Poe instead of Nicolas Cage so much. Has to go find out what the problem is below the plane, why they're dragging, losing speed. Sees Dave Chappelle there, but another guy is down there too, Ving Rhames. And he writes a message on Dave Chappelle. Agent Larkin, we're headed to Lunar Field. He learns where they're going, Lunar Field. Drops the body. Now, I shit you not. The free fall of Dave Chappelle looks better than any effect I've seen in a recent movie for the same thing. Why is that? I think nowadays, they wouldn't even have Dave Chappelle. They'd say, well, we made a computer model of Dave Chappelle and it looks like shit. But we're lazy and that's what we're doing. This looks really damn authentic. There's an old guy and his wife in a beige Volvo. Yes, this is the second installment of the Nicolas Cage unofficial beige Volvo trilogy. He gets some bird shit on his car. Wife says, hey, it's good luck. Dave Chappelle free falls onto the car, busts it up. Cops eventually alert Larkin, aka John Cusack, that there's a body that fell. It has the name all over it. It says Lernerfield. So he's going to race over there. Well, if you have a fast car, you can get there pretty soon. Steals the 427 Corvette, and it looks nice. It does. I think these cars go for like $250,000 now, if not more. Well, it's actually not all that fast unless it's been modified. But it's powerful. It's got a powerful engine, okay? Especially in its day. So, he's on his way over there. The plane lands successfully, but gets kind of dug up into some sand. Inmates have tried to fish it out because they don't see the plane they were going to transfer into for their escape. Even though some guys have knocked off people at the controls. Garland Green, everybody's kind of enjoying some freedom. Garland Green walks off, has tea party with some little girl. She asks if he's sick. He's like, huh, do I look sick? Yeah, you look sick. And this seems to have an effect on him. We later see him rejoining the crew without the girl murdered. She's like waving goodbye in the plane, to the plane there. And it's almost 100 degrees. I am gonna die. Don't be surprised. So anyways, we have Nicolas Cage fighting it out with these drug lord dudes who are waiting to pick up this dude and kind of leave everybody else behind. He meets up with Barry Larkin. Larkin says, met your wife. You know, I'm on your side. Okay, I'm going to save the day. That's why I'm not leaving. I can't leave a man behind. And then they cut off. Larkin tries to save the cops. For some reason, now it's understandable he's looking for a syringe, but he went into some first aid tent. It was labeled first aid, and I swear this lunchbox that says first aid on it has onions and chicken feet in it. Why? I don't understand. So anyways, we got a situation there with the chicken feet lunch, whatever. And there's a big gunfight. They found the small arms cache. They're fighting the cops that are coming in. The attack choppers with Colm Meaney get there a little too late. As they get there, the plane's getting back up into the air. We've had a few of the inmates die off, and we have a car that gets attached to it. You see, Cameron Poe attached this anchor to like some concrete block, and it snapped when the plane tried to take off. I don't think that would actually happen, but anyways, it whipped around really convincingly and caught the undercarriage of this Corvette and drugged the Corvette, and it starts flying. They're looking out at it and they're like, any other day that'd be strange. And they're kind of right. It would be strange on any other day. So that happens. Colm Meaney's like, huh, what's this? Hey, isn't that your car? Oh, no, mine's at the office. He sees John Cusack. He's like, shit, he brought my car here. They have to lift the nose up a little bit. It hits the watchtower. Is it called the watchtower? Control, whatever. Guys, I'm dying, okay? No one tortures themselves more for tens of views than this guy right here. So this shit's going down, and we have the plane hits the control tower. Well, the car does. It snaps off, turns upside down, crashes some more. Spectacular fashion, looks convincing as all hell because they actually did it. Whereas nowadays they don't. Nobody does anything in movies. And today's movies are shite for it. So, after this, I'm going to have your ass, he says to John Cusack. Now they're going to go to gun down this plane. They get back in the attack choppers, they're chasing them. There's gunfire. Eventually it's, just before the gunfire breaks out, Cyrus says we have a traitor aboard, shoots the diabetic guy who claims that he was behind it all when it was Cameron Poe. So then he starts reading the letter about how this guy was going to escape. He thought it was for Baby-O. Move, and the bunny gets it. There was this bunny in a package that he's going to give his daughter on her birthday. And so he's going to shoot. That's when the firefight starts out. And there's bullets flying everywhere. And John Cusack's like, no, stand down, stop. You know, we got to stop them. But they're firing back. Cameron Poe's like, you know, I'm going to show you that God exists. Because the guy's bleeding out. He's like, I feel like there's no God. Kicks some ass, gets shot in the arm. Is like, screw that, just keep going. Cyrus gets knocked out by Rachel Ticotin. And Cameron Poe takes control of the plane. So, I don't really recall what Diamond Dog was doing during this. Maybe shooting the attack chopper. But he gets control, gets on the radio, says, it's Cameron Poe. Hey, he's a friend. He's one of us. Don't you shoot this down. Get in front of him. Ducks his chopper in front. You know, I know this is fake, but it looks so damn good. I think there might actually be some actual choppers in this. So they do this stuff. And, guys, I don't know how much longer I keep this up. I'm feeling really bad. So they go through this. And they're like, okay, you're in control. This guy Swamp Thing, one of the bad guys, is piloting the plane. We're going to try to land in Vegas. Oh, but we're landing on the Strip. That's the only thing we can get to. There's a lot of talk about how they did this effect. A lot of miniatures, a lot of stuff that looks great. I think it would look shittier now. There was one shot of the plane coming in that didn't look that authentic. And I know it's a really crowded area, especially nowadays. It would look quite a bit different. Anyways, they crash land on the Strip. Shit's blown up everywhere. Everybody thinks they're okay, but Cyrus, Swamp Thing, and Diamond Dog get away. They get off in a fire truck, and now Cameron Poe's got to chase him down. But Barry Larkin wants to chase him down too. They both hawk him on police motorcycles, go after him. During the chase, some more cops show up. Diamond Dog gets on the fire hose, sprays down the two ancillary cops, and now Larkin is shooting at him and stuff. And I think he gets aboard the truck, but his bike kills Ving Rhames in the process. And I don't remember the nuances of how he got aboard, but he eventually sprays water hose down into the cabin from the roof and gets Swamp Thing to crash. But before this goes Cyrus is duking it out on top of the ladder with Cameron Poe, who's monkey barred his way up there. And they're fighting. He's hanging below. He's got an axe. He's trying to hit him with it. Breaks the stick off, hits him in the ankle. He's bleeding bad. Climbs aboard, punches him up pretty good. Cuffs him. I think he had some cuffs on him, I guess. To the ladder, and then starts moving the ladder up as they exit this tunnel. He doesn't hit the top of the thing, but then there's like some construction, and the geography of this gets a little confusing. I never really understood this. There's a walkway. I think there's a truck full of money that loses cash, and somehow Cyrus gets launched into a pile driver conveyor belt and eventually gets his head smashed by a pile driver. Where this came from, I don't know. I thought they were on the road, but it's like they fell below some way. So, as he fell on some power lines, it's like, how'd this happen? But, Larkin and Cameron Poe are there. Earlier, Cameron Poe said there's 2 people in the world I trust want to meet you. Now there's 3 people in the world I trust. So they're having a bro moment. He goes and gets the bunny rabbit toy it's falling down this drainage sewer. It's wet. He picks it up, and then using the magical powers of being a badass action hero, the bunny is instantly dried. Presents it to his girl, who is there on site with Jenny, the not impressed chick, who has lines here and there with Cusack, and he made her smile. She's on site when the big romantic meetup occurs between Monica Potter, who was huge in '97, by the way. Like, that was her year. And Nicolas Cage. Jenny's there. She could have had a little moment, a little kiss with Barry Larkin at the same time. And I kind of wish she had, like, because I really didn't remember her even having a name or anything in this movie. I remember her kind of smiling earlier, but I didn't remember her having a presence in this. And yeah, she doesn't have much of a character, but at the end of the movie, we got, and tell me, how or why? How can I live without you? I wanna know, how can I breathe without you? This song was in line to get an Oscar for Best Original Song, sung by Patricia Yearwood. It was also done by Ving Rhames. It just had unfortunate timing because also that year was Titanic. But any other year, this would have gotten an Oscar for Con Air. So that song's playing and they're making out, and I'm thinking Barry Larkin could have got some too. Instead, he smiles on, just kind of like, "Yep, I did a good thing today." And then it's like, new shooter at the table. Does the new shooter feel lucky? Yes, he does. It's Garland Green. He has these crap dice, rolls, picks up a drink, boom, 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 sweet home Alabama. So we're kind of thinking, is this guy reformed? We know he's a nasty dude, but if you're really liberal with your politics on punishing inmates, you might think this guy has been changed, that this event was so strong it reached him, that now he's given a second chance. Maybe he'll do some good. Maybe he'll make some money and donate it. But it's weird that I would even be rooting for this. But I also have to wonder, what's Baby-O's situation? If he's one of the worst, he's being transferred to Supermax, what did he do? And yet he's a sympathetic character? You know, I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but this is the last of the classic action films. I think when I saw this, a trailer for Face Off also appeared, and it opened a few weeks later. Honestly, I don't think Face Off is as good. And I mean, since they're really about the same time, it's hard to say which is the last of the classic action films, but I believe Con Air to be. And I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you made it this far, you probably agree too. 24 minutes in, is this the world record for a jogging movie review? Can't remember. I think GoldenEye went further than this. But I'll tell you this, I think it's hotter out here. Con Air, you know what? Yeah, just the levity this brings to it. I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 4 stars. If you disagree, suck a dick.